Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church. We are a welcoming congregation where we strive to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. My name is Elena Brooks-Perkins, and I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as chair of the nominating committee and on the worship committee. For today's service, we will continue our theme of practicing paying attention. We will be practicing staying present when it feels like the world is upside down. We are getting closer to our 2026-27 pledge goal. I don't know if anyone's seen the counter that Amy's had going on the Facebook group, but it's very helpful. And we need every member, friend, and supporter of the congregation to participate to help us cross the finish line. So please consider pledging if you haven't already. There's a QR code on our order of service to help you, and you can ask our administrator, Daniel Miller, to help after service if you need it. Our chalice lighting words are from Laura Stevens. Emily and Helen will help light our chalice. With this chalice, may we kindle the flame of our attention, not too fiery or wild, spreading without cause or care, not too dim or fading, unfocused and inattentive. Oops, sorry. I was unfocused. Not too dim or fading, unfocused or ineffective, but like a cheerful cook fire in a cozy hearth, like a comforting candle, flickering yet steady. May our attention be befriended, directed, and sustained for the betterment of all humankind.
Well, good morning. My name is Adena Dannouf. I use she or they pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And a few weeks ago, I attempted to take this congregation on a trip to the 1990s. And somehow we ended up in 2060. For that, I want to apologize. Some of the kids have told me that since our trip, some of them have been craving a strong cup of black coffee, gotten the urge to listen to NPR, and their knees just don't feel like they used to. I guess that'll happen when you age up and back 34 years. So, it just shows that I'm a bit of a time machine novice. So I reached out to an expert in the field, Dr. Emmett Brown, and he said some weird stuff about plutonium and gigawatts and something called a flux capacitor. Thank you for laughing. If you don't get it, you've had a really long time, but please go watch Back to the Future. But after he stopped losing me, he said something really interesting. It's about time. And after another confusing conversation that went something like this, it's about time for what? Not what, when. When what? No, the what is when. Oh, the what is when? Yes, the what is when. I think I get it. It's about time. I thought we already established that. In the end, I realized time travel takes expertise, and the when you intend to travel to can be more difficult depending on where or when it is in relation to where you are. All of this to say, I need to aim smaller. So, we're gonna fire this thing up and see if I can get it right this time.
Okay, well, we just arrived here at the end of our worship service. Okay, but somehow we're still at the beginning, but we're at the end. Okay, well, this whole time change thing is really throwing me for a loop. How about you? Okay, I'm Reverend Sara. I use she, her pronouns. And now we're at the closing of our service, but we still somehow have the whole service to go. So, okay, do you think we could do it if we maybe went upside down? Okay, like we start from the end and go backwards? Okay, so get your order of service out. All right. Now, we're going to the bottom. What do we need to do? Okay, because we're going to do our closing. Everybody stand. We're closing up here. We need to hold our hands or arms or however you want to touch the person next to you or not. That's fine too. So when you go, stay present. When you go, be here. And when you go, go in peace.
Leave this place knowing you are good and knowing you are loved.
Blessed be. Take your dark and your light and your love from this place and share them with the world. And stay safe until we meet again.
Amen. Thank you, but don't leave.
Keep standing. Yeah. Keep standing.
So I guess we're doing our closing hymn next.
Closing hymn.
So stay standing for as we leave this friendly place, which is number 414 in our gray hardcover hymnal, and we'll sing it through twice.
Be seated. This is really weird, okay? But as we're moving up the order of service, we're at the prayer. So that's good. It'll give us a chance, right, to feel how weird this is and to be present for a moment. So please join me now in a time of meditation and prayer. Find a comfortable place for your body, noticing your breathing. Finding your center. Our prayer meditation text comes from Nancy Reed McKee. Sit and rest for a minute. Take several deep breaths in and out if you can, calling your attention to this space. Attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to where you are right now. I mean, where you are. Where you are. And where you are. You're here in this community. In this sanctuary, in this state, in this country, on this beautiful blue planet. whirling through the tailspin of a galaxy. You are unique. You're made of cells and hormones. You're a mix of thoughts, emotions, values. You are the inheritors of your ancestors' dreaming. You are part of the human inhabitants on this earth. You are. You exist. You are breathing. You are still. You are connected. You are present. You have a holy spark within you. You are here now. You are paying attention. We hold in love and light, and we hold with us in our deepening attention, even as we are also full of sorrow and rage, worry and fear. As my colleague Reverend Christian Schmidt writes, this morning, we lift up all those who have been impacted by the recent attacks by the U.S., Israel, and Iran. We lift up all those who have been injured and whose lives have been lost in Iran, Lebanon, Iraq, Bahrain, and Kuwait, including civilians as well as American civil service members. We pray for the liberation of all being held in the concentration camps called detention centers all over this country. We pray that all the plans to fill up more camps with more people are disrupted and abandoned. We pray for our elected and appointed leaders to find the courage to do what is necessary to prevent widespread violence and protect what is left of our democracy, even if it means risking their own safety. And we pray for ourselves, for the courage and the energy to keep using our voices, our love, our lives to create a better world together. Blessed be. So with the service starting at the end, sorry, I should have let you be there a moment. Blessed be, once more. So with the service starting at the end, I've really had to pay attention to where we are in the order of service. Sometimes, since we've done the service this way so many times, it feels like the service is running on autopilot. Like when you get on the highway and you get a highway hypnosis and you accidentally drive home instead of the store like you meant to after work. The elements of the service flow from one to the other, and we don't think too much about it. But we need to think about it. With the service being all topsy-turvy, I have to pay close attention to when it's my turn to talk, and it feels super weird to be speaking before framing what I'm saying with a reading and Adena's message and the special music. It's really uncomfortable to be in this situation. And just to be clear, I put myself in this situation specifically for this lesson. It's not a mistake that we're doing this, obviously. Just want to make it really clear. Are you uncomfortable too? Sitting with the weirdness. I love it. Thank you. We're all weird. Yep. Especially me. We're familiar with how worship is supposed to go, but it's not going that way. Our expectations are being disrupted. And from time to time, that's a great exercise, something to kick us out of our routine for a little while so we're encouraged to pay closer attention. That's why we're having an upside-down service, to throw us off a little, to practice. Because the world right now feels really uncomfortable. Things are starting to go topsy-turvy, and it will take practice to get used to navigating a world that feels a little off-kilter. We need to stretch our resilience muscles, like I said the other day, and bring up and build up a tolerance to moving through the unknown. Like crossing through a familiar room, but in the dark. We know how the room is laid out, but we aren't sure where the dog left her dog treat toy. We know how to move through our days as long as everything is as it should be, but we know now that things aren't as they should be. So how do you move through a darkened room? Slowly. Jan Richardson has a poem for this. A blessing for traveling in the dark. Go slow, if you can. Slower. More slowly still. Friendly, dark, or fearsome, this is no place to break your neck by rushing, running, by crashing into what you cannot see. Then again, it is true, different darks have different tasks. And if you have arrived here unawares, if you have come in peril or in pain, this might be no place that you should dawdle. I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold. That means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or whether you should leave, but this is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name. She tells us plain, we need to slow down, move with intention and attention. We cannot see the path, but we must move forward, for this uncertainty is no place to dawdle. We must move with care and confidence. But at the same time, the poet also reminds us that the dark is where we can be met by something holy. The love that knows your name. We know that dark is often where transformation happens. If we move too quickly to pass through the dark, we may not have the opportunity to grow and change. So when the world feels topsy-turvy, and we need to move forward in a kind of dark that is both radically scary and deeply freeing, we've got to slow down. I know my mind can start spinning out worst case scenarios, moving faster and faster into the anxiety of what could be. And I can't always find the way to counter that with curiosity, which would help me start imagining those hopeful possibilities. I first have to slow down. Down, slower, slower, until I can start to pay attention to where I am now. To what is here now. Where am I right now? Where are you right now? We're in this community, on this planet, spinning through the tailspin of a galaxy. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you touch? What can you taste? How can you ground yourself in the present moment? This is a very helpful therapeutic tool, by the way. It's a cognitive behavioral therapy tool that uses our senses to slow us down and refocus our minds on what's tangible and real in our surroundings instead of what's happening in our minds. It's only useful really when you're in a safe environment while you're freaking out, but it is helpful. Very helpful for interrupting panic attacks or anxiety feelings. So there's even a quick way to remember. Get your hand out. You have the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Start with 5 things you can see. Go to 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. By the time you're trying to think of something that you can taste, you're pretty well grounded. I have another poem for you to show how paying attention can help slow us down, or at least momentarily reframe our grief. This one is from Rosemary Watola Tromer. This is like the 3rd or 4th poem of hers I've shared in the last few weeks. I think that they're great, so you get to hear another one. After. It's called After. On this day, after my country bombed a girls' school across the world, part of me does not wish to meet the day. But just after dawn, I wake to the relentless honking of geese returning from far away to make a home again in our yard. I want to rewrite yesterday so every girl who went to school also came home to her family, so every mother and father woke this morning knowing their child is safe in their bed. I am so filled with horror, we killed them. I don't know how to rise. But the great noise of the geese returning, the harsh and strangled sound, pulls me into the world to meet whatever the day brings. A goose wanders past my window, regal with her long black throat, proof that life goes on. Even when we can't imagine how, even then. The poet is clearly overcome with the feelings of devastation of the murder of the little girls in their school, feeling the grief and loss almost as if it were her own, when she is brought back into the present moment by her sense of hearing. The geese life goes on. I recently learned about a theory called the shattered assumption theory. Probably some of you are familiar with it. It's been around for more than 30 years. It's a theory that many people move through the world with some basic assumptions. 1, that the world is benevolent. 2, that the world is meaningful. And 3, that I am worthy. When something traumatic happens in a person's life, sometimes it can shatter part of someone's basic life assumptions, leaving them shaken to the core. In this theory, trauma changes a person's entire relationship to safety and trust. When something that has felt deeply true our whole lives has been revealed to have never been true, how can we trust ourselves or the world? To overcome this loss, this shattering, we have to reframe and restructure our basic assumptions to match what is really happening in order to find a way forward again. And that is hard, long work. In some ways, the last year, or really the last decade, has deeply challenged our basic assumptions about the benevolence of the world and the meaning we can make from it. Some of our basic assumptions about the rules that we thought everyone was following have been shattered and then ground into sand. So it's reasonable that folks are stressed and trying to find ways to process these deeply unsettling changes. It's reasonable that we are feeling like we're in a dark room trying to find our way out. The horrors continue, and so must we. So today we're practicing with just a little discomfort. This is not the assumption shattering that's happening in the outside world. It's just unsettling doing things backwards, right? To not know exactly how the service will feel as we get to the next thing in the wrong order. I did leave you a map though, right? You have your order of service. You can go up with me and we'll get where we're going. You just have to look at it from a different perspective. We don't know what the next step will look like in the dark of this world, and yet we need to be here Things need to change, and they will never go back to how they were before. But right now, let's just practice getting to just be. So, a final poem by the Reverend Scott Taylor. The beauty of just getting to be. Let go. Let go of those worries that push you into the future. Let go of your regrets that pull you into the past. Let go of your judgments that focus you on what's missing rather than what's being offered. Let go of your perfected plans that blind you to the wildness of this world. Let go so you can be here, so you can notice, finally, the sweet stillness that wants to lure and love you into the beauty of just getting to be.
Our reading is Just Be Here With Me by Morgan de Cecil. Just be here with me, signed the moon, the stars, your still hot cup of coffee, your daughter, your son, your spouse, your heart, the green grass, the wild flowers, the waters you long to swim in, the color yellow, the color blue, your favorite poem, your favorite blanket, the wind in your hair, the waves on the ocean, the mountain air, your dad, your mom, the rain, the ice cream cone, the butter sizzling with garlic in the frying pan, the grocery clerk with sad, kind eyes, postcards waiting to be sent, the city squirrel, the country squirrel, Jupiter, the photo album, your grandmother's rosary, your favorite song, ink and paper, your best friend, the money in your wallet, the fork in your hand, brushes and paint, downward-facing dog, the color turquoise, the almost invisible shade of pink, God, the skyline, the earth beneath your feet, a hammock, the shade of a giant tree, this moment, right here, now, your bones, your belly laugh, your breath, your breath, your breath. Please join me in today's offering and acknowledging all the ways we give to this church and this world. We give because this is our church and we value what it does for us, and through us, to our community and the world. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this church inside and outside our walls. May we give in love and in hope. Thank you for your offering and the ways you give to life and ministry with your time, talent, treasure, and trust. Together, our gifts allow us to expand and strengthen the tapestry of love, wonder, and connection that blesses this church and transforms us and the world. And just a quick note, if you have your cell phone, if you don't mind turning it off or on airplane mode, we're having a little bit of internet instability. So that would be helpful. And now we're going to sing our children back with As You Go.
Twirling her pigtails, which were now growing out of her elbows, until she had an idea. She ran to the town square and climbed onto the statue of the town's founder, Sir Silly Somersault, which was no longer standing head down as it had always been. "Everyone listen!" Pippa called out. "I know things seem strange today, but we can still be ourselves. We just need to look at things from a different perspective." Now, I can't and won't do this, but she demonstrated by doing a handstand, which made everything look upside down, or in topsy-turvy case, right side up again. The townspeople watched in awe as Pippa showed them how to adapt to their new surroundings while still being true to their topsy-turvy selves. Soon the whole town was turning cartwheels and doing handstands and looking at the world from new angles. They discovered that they could still be just as silly and fun even when things weren't exactly as they were used to. As the day went on, the residents of Topsy-Turvy Town learned to embrace the change. They had picnics on the ceilings of their houses, they planted flowers in hanging baskets that grew downwards, and even held an upside-down parade where everyone marched on their hands. By the time the sun set, or did it rise, it was still hard to tell. Topsy-Turvy Town was back to its old, cheerful self, just with a new twist. And as Pippa snuggled into her bed on the floor that night, which still made her laugh because who would ever put their bed on a floor and not the ceiling? She smiled, knowing that sometimes the best way to handle a topsy-turvy situation is to flip your own perspective upside down. From that day on, the people of Topsy-Turvy would randomly flip their world upside down or right side up just for fun. They learned that change, no matter how strange it seems at first, just requires some paying attention and can lead to new adventures and bring people together in the most unexpected ways. Now, they didn't say if it ever went back to normal. Guess we have to figure that out for ourselves. But we remember this. When life turns your world upside down, pay attention. And don't be afraid to look at things from a new angle. You just might discover something wonderful. Like we might today as we head to class. Or rather, don't. It's kind of hard to tell.
Well, now we return to our centers of connection. Because we know that rituals, which is what our service is, keep us feeling closer together. So we light our candles of hope and joy and place our stones of sorrow and fear to honor those inner experiences together. So as the folks in the room participate in this ritual, those of you joining us online, please use the chat to participate. Write your name or stone or candle and we'll invite you in right near the end. And if you are in the room and would like someone to light a candle of joy or hope or place a stone of sorrow or fear, we will do that at the end as well. So anyone who would like to come forward may do so now. If you would like to light a candle, you can line up in 2 lines, one on this side, one on this side, and the stones come down the center. For Michelle Matthews. For Chris J. For Linda Wallets. If anyone in the room would like to have a stone placed for them, please raise their hand. Thank you. We place the one final stone, our big one, for all those big, heavy things weighing us down. We will light a candle for Michelle Matthews, for Ross Barron, and for Chris J. And if you would like a candle lit for you, please raise your hand, and we will acknowledge you. And we light one final candle for all the joys that continue to burn brightly, and the hopes especially that can keep us going through these dark times. Please join in singing our sung prayer response, There is a Love. Our commitment as a congregation is to be together in covenant. We share these affirmation words. Please join me. We'll be very patient. Well, there we go. Beginning with that all-important word, love is the message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And the choir is now going to remind us about the monthly theme of paying attention with a song called Turn Off Your Phone Song.
Thank you, choir. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, which is number 361 in our gray hardcover hymnal.
Opening words. And for these opening words, I share our welcome, a reminder of how we want to be in the world as we face each new day. Whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th time, welcome. Whatever you're facing in your own life, welcome. This is a place where we try to be real with one another, to get through hard things together, and to remind ourselves and one another of the values that ground and center us, that motivate and move us. Whoever you are, whatever your faith journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We welcome all who seek to know the sacred and all who seek to make our world more just.
Welp, that wasn't quite what I had in mind. As much fun as this has been, I think maybe it's time to get us back to normal. You know, let me go over there for a second. I think I figured it out. I think maybe time machines work best if we all make it go together, yeah? Yeah. So on the count of 3, I'm going to need your best time machine sound effects. And let's see if we can get this topsy-turvy Sunday going in the right direction again. You think? Ready? 1, 2, 3! Ready to pay attention in new ways, because we know that we can handle any sort of topsy-turvy, out of order, ultimate, untimely thing that we may face, especially with a community like this one, to help us on the steps along the way. But just in case, I'm going to unplug this thing and put it back in the deep storage downstairs for a while, because I think we've had enough time travel. Thank you everyone for coming, and enjoy some fellowship, coffee, and have a great week.